Nearly 3 decades later, the battling ideologies remained bitterly opposed, and Potsdam did nothing to bridge the divide. President Truman called on Stalin to withdraw his troops from Eastern and Central Europe and to hold the free elections he had promised. Stalin refused. The region was a buffer zone, he said, and essential to his nation's security. The president was unconvinced. In his diary, he condemned the Soviet dictator for running a
police government plain and simple. A few top hands just take clubs, pistols, and concentration camps and rule the people on the lower level.
But Truman had a trump card. His nation had developed an entirely new class of weapon. It was destined to win the war with Japan, but it would also provide leverage in dealing with people like Stalin. If it worked, Truman noted, I'll certainly have a hammer on those boys. On the first day of the Potsdam Conference, a blinding flash seared the New Mexico desert, ushering in the atomic age. The Manhattan Project had produced the world's first nuclear explosion. For the father of the bomb, Dr. J. Robert Oppenheimer, the awesome sight summoned the words of the Hindu god Vishnu. Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. The president gave his final go-ahead to drop the bomb on Japan. Release when ready, he wrote. When Stalin learned that the city of Hiroshima had been destroyed by the American bomb, it came as no surprise. His spies within the Manhattan Project had long ago revealed its existence. But Truman's willingness to use the weapon presented a stark new reality for the Soviet leader. In a war fought with atomic bombs, his mighty Red Army would be rendered impotent. The balance has been destroyed, he would later tell the scientists working on the Russian bomb. That cannot be. Potsdam was the first and final meeting between Stalin and Truman, and set the tone for the early Cold War. In the words of one British diplomat, it was a very bad-tempered conference. As President Truman sailed for home, he could scarcely have imagined the decades of Cold War that lay ahead. There would be no Pearl Harbor in this coming struggle, no sudden attacks or declarations of war, just a growing sense of fear and distrust, pulling the former allies toward a confrontation that neither could afford, but that neither would manage to escape.